famously stated, if it happened to evangelist Jimmy Swaggart, it could happen to me. So,
Fascinating.
wait, did you just say you're also buying?
Okay, here we go. All right. Hey, you ever clicked on a strange story, only to look up 3 hours later, wondering how it ended about a secret government project, a mysterious disappearance, or some weird war? Let me do that again. I'm gonna start over on that, Matt. Self. Okay. Hey, have you ever clicked on one strange story, only to look up a few hours later, wondering how it ended about a secret government project, a mysterious disappearance, or some weird war against birds? Welcome to Rabbit Hole Roulette, the podcast where curiosity takes control. I'm the facilitator fancy, Tony O, alongside my co-host, Maddie P, architect of Actually. Welcome. Let's get into this. Matt, any current events for the day for you, bud?
Sure, I got one. Apparently Missouri is dealing with a 1 in like 10,000 year flood, so that's something.
Like
Yeah,
arc-worthy
like
flood?
all underwater kind of flood.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what floods are.
Also, Senator Lindsey Graham has passed away, and I believe Mitch McConnell is either passed away or is about to pass away. One of the two. I don't think they've officially announced yet.
Did they have a death
No,
pact?
I don't
Was it
think
part of the
so.
flood?
I think it's just bad timing. I don't know. It could be a conspiracy there. Might be worth looking into.
Again, is it again? Are we flooded? Is it the flood,
Oh,
or is
flood
that
separate.
separate as well? Oh, again, I'm just saying. I'm trying to connect the dots to maybe dots that shouldn't be connected.
I mean, maybe one could argue.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about the McConnell thing on Friday. I have a coworker that was talking to me about it. And I'm like, interesting. So I started looking it up, and yeah, it was a fascinating little read about that. For myself, I'm gonna bring it back into some mystery, some crime, some criminal activity, because I love a good criminal
Who doesn't?
activity. So in Fort Wayne, yeah. So in Fort Wayne, Indiana, right? Am I wrong? It's like the Panhandle of Florida. You go and get stabbed or robbed. Anyway, Fort Wayne, Indiana. So what started as an investigation into a stabbing and arson, it took a disturbing turn when a man admitted to setting his own genitals on fire.
I heard about this. Yeah.
Furthermore, the stabbing was actually kind of the hoax. When they actually started talking to the individual, they being the authorities, they found out that he actually self-mutilated and apparently cut off his own penis in his mom's garage, doused it in gasoline, and then set the garage ablaze, and then walked out, not looking at the explosion later. Police found him, I don't know, a mile away and started questioning him about it because of the stabbing thing, and turns out that's what he did. I don't know that I could do that, but I see you're enjoying that banana just like he would have done with his own penis.
I thought now was the most fitting time to try to eat my breakfast.
It's a very phallic story. It's a very phallic breakfast answer.
Wild.
So that's my story of Fort Wayne. I don't know. I don't even like ripping scabs off. I definitely couldn't do.
No.
Couldn't. So what's interesting is even more fascinating. And so years ago, I had heard the story of what's called the BME Pain Olympics. Have you heard of that?
You're talking years ago. I think this was back when I was in like middle school or high school. But yes, I remember what you're talking about.
You know, I'm showing my age, rabbits. So yeah, the BME Pain Olympics. These individuals would go to these, I don't know, behind closed door basement events where they would see who could mutilate their own self, and it always ended up being the guy who ended up like straight castrating himself or doing it whatever on video, which was for me, it's fascinating. I love the gore. I don't look away at that, but this is a good example of that, and maybe he should have competed. I don't know. Might have got third place.
How does one
That's
use
what I got for you.
one's member to start a fire?
Well, he doused it in gasoline. He used the
So it was a
accelerant.
short fuse.
He made a Molotov. It was I don't know the
Definitely a
size
short
of it.
fuse.
It was a Molotov cocktail, basically.
Speaking of Molotov
Yeah,
cocktails,
Molotov
I almost
cocktail.
forgot till you said that. Did you
Mm-hmm.
see the man that chucked a Molotov cocktail at another man that was in a wheelchair across the street? This guy's wheeling his way
No,
across a crosswalk, and this
mind his
guy
own
comes
business.
running from the
Mind his
corner
business.
out of frame, chucks a Molotov at him. It goes under the wheelchair and explodes behind the guy.
Oh,
The guy then tries to push him back into the fire that he started with the Molotov cocktail. This was right in front of a police station. He was arrested in like 30 seconds.
you think you would have a better location to plan to do this?
You would think.
That's it. That's
I want to know what the guy in the
I don't
wheelchair
know. I don't
did that
understand
made this
people.
guy so mad that he's like, I'm going to set you on fire.
He beat him in a foot race. No.
Well, you know, I had dreams of this
No.
channel getting
No.
monetized one day, and I think with this intro, that's out the window. So, you ready to get into this?
let's
Ready to
spin
see
the win and
whose
see
day
who
it
goes.
is.
I think we each have a
One
story
left.
left. So yeah.
All right,
Let's see.
Bang.
Wheels up, as that guy would say.
Stop.
No, too much.
Oh my God, stop. Can you is this doing anything?
Yeah,
See the screen?
Yes.
It's just for
Yes,
you,
Queen.
buddy. You like my spinny wheel of doom? All right.
I
One
do.
story left apiece. Ready? There goes.
Yep. Let's see who goes today. The suspense is killing me.
Oh boy.
This is the one I said I didn't want from the very beginning.
So
I'm
you
excited
remember
for
when
it
I
now.
said in the beginning that with that intro, there's no hope this video is ever getting monetized? Well,
I'm
now I
listening.
can say it's probably never going to happen because we are obviously for those of you who may be watching for the first time, I'm not pulling up my wheel because I only had one story left, and that story was multi-level marketing religion. So, what I want to discuss is what happens when people take religion and something that is meant to be nonprofit, at least here in the United States, and turn it into a multi-million-dollar business that usually ends up landing them in some sort of story about corruption. So we are going to be
Osteen.
talking. Yeah, he was one that got in some trouble. The televangelists specifically, that's where I'm going with this, that I want to discuss
Okay.
today are going to be one Mr. Jim Baker, Mr.
Tammy
Jimmy
Faye. Oh, I love that
Swaggart,
woman.
and one Mr. Kenneth
Jimmy
Copeland.
Swaggart. I'm just saying, Tammy Faye, Spank Bank, 10-year-old me, sold. Your brother. I think she's dead now.
Okay, so before I get into those three specifically, let's just do a quick what is a televangelist for those that just don't know. Okay? Those of you who don't know what televangelists are, because you got to imagine we live in a world now where most people are streaming or watching YouTube. So the days of watching the early morning TV pastor yelling at you through the screen about how big of a sinner you are a little bit past, right? Most of them are probably doing their own YouTube channels now, or they're doing their own streaming service for their church, whatever the case may be, right? Okay. So a televangelist, for those of you that don't know, is an evangelical minister who utilizes television and increasingly radio or the internet to broadcast religious services, spread their faith, and appeal to viewers for financial donations. The term is a portmanteau, whatever, it's a combination of television and evangelist. Sure, whatever. I don't know what that other word is. Portmanteau, Tau, Teau is the end of that. Nothing.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Anyways,
right now.
So basically, it's
I'm still imagining
pastors
Tammy Faye
that get
Baker.
on TV and ask for donations. So, at least here in the United States, churches are tax exempt. right? Most of them, anyway, if they are a legitimate church, and they are a nonprofit organization, meaning all the money they come in, they send back out in the form of donations into fixing up their buildings or giving away to different charities that they support, going on mission trips. You usually use for in the name of good, right? That's what you typically expect when you donate to a church, is that money is going to be taken from you and sent to somebody who needs it, right? Can we agree with that? Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens when the guy in charge decides, well, we don't have to send all of the money away. Starting with the oldest, I believe, first, who got in trouble, is one Mr. Jim Baker, or James Baker. So James Baker, let's see, where was he from? Please hold. I had my place and I lost my place.
While you're looking that up, portmanteau.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like the smoke and fog. The word is smog.
Oh.
It's a combination. Brunch is breakfast and lunch. It's a combination. So it's a word for the
Yep.
combination of words.
I feel
Portmanteau.
really smart.
Or portmanteau.
College graduate over here. Couldn't figure that out.
I had to look it up because I was concerned what you were trying to spell out to me because I can't spell.
So anyways, back to what I was saying. Jimmy Baker, Jim Baker, whatever, hosted the television program, the PTL Club, and its cable television platform, the PTL Satellite Network, with his then wife, Tammy Faye. He also developed Heritage USA, a now defunct Christian theme park in Fort Mill, South Carolina. So let's discuss his downfall and his empire here. Okay. So what's crazy is I'm pretty sure this guy is, yeah, I know exactly who this guy is. All right. Downfall was in the late 80s, was triggered by a sex scandal that exposed massive financial fraud. As head of the PTL Ministries, his empire collapsed in 1987 after it was revealed that he paid a church secretary, Jessica Hahn, $279,000 in hush money to cover up a 1980 sexual encounter. This revelation sparked government investigations into his highly publicized PTL ministry and Heritage USA resort. Resulting investigations unveiled several key elements of his downfall. Not great. He also was part of, well, this is what they discovered, the Lifetime Partnerships scam. Baker raised over $158 million by selling lifetime vacation partnerships at his resort. He promised unlimited accommodations to 25,000 donors, but actually oversold the memberships to more than 66,000 people, making the rewards impossible to fulfill. So he had 25,000 spots at his resort, sold those 25,000, and then sold them two more times over to a total of 66,000 to bump that number up to 158 million. So,
okay,
pretty typical scam right there, right? Misappropriation of funds. Federal prosecutors proved Baker diverted approximately $3.7 million in ministry funds to support an extravagant lifestyle, which included luxury vehicles, a fleet of Mercedes-Benzes, and an air-conditioned doghouse. Huh. Why an air-conditioned doghouse?
Interesting. I mean, I'm for
I mean,
that
I get it, but why not just bring the dog inside?
Also, yeah, correct. Maybe he had falling out. Couldn't buy him off for an 80s sex scandal.
In 1989, he was convicted on 24 counts of fraud and conspiracy and sentenced to 45 years in federal prison. Damn.
Ooh.
According to the biography of Jim Baker, his sentence was ultimately reduced, and he served nearly 5 years before being paroled in 1994. So this guy is back out, and he also currently, if I remember right, is selling.
Please be.
No, he's selling like doomsday prepper kits now.
Oh, okay,
like
so not too far
off. Buckets that you're supposed to get like 6,000 servings out of a bucket or something for like, but it's like an ungodly amount of money.
It's a good term
Back
to
to
be
what
used right there.
you said, from 1961 to 1992, he was married to Tammy Faye.
That's my girl
And
there.
then after their divorce in 92, so she divorced him 3 years after he was sentenced to prison, but 2 years before he was released.
You ever seen photos of her?
Are you talking like old photos or new photos?
I don't know about. She's probably a corpse now, but I'm just saying photos back then. She was the first woman, and then obviously me saying 10-year-old me and spank banking with her is a
Yeah,
little
that's a
farce.
little rough.
But the
I assumed you were being serious. That's rough.
the eye makeup on her. The eye makeup on her is fascinatingly
That
like
is
a
the
little
first
too
thing that
much.
catches my eye is her eyes. Yes, that is wild.
Yes, yes,
Oh
yes.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah, that was a thing for her in the 80s and 90s. I didn't see it until 2000s. It's like, oh, you're wearing way too much makeup. Well, she coined it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm gonna have to clip a
Yep.
picture of her in, editor, insert it like here. We'll discuss that.
Oh, brother.
Scare off the children in our audience, the one that might be watching. Okay, so this guy, that's all I'm going to talk about on this guy. The basic, the usual, right? Man of God gets found out in a sex scandal and has been taking in money on the side, right? I mean, not
Okay.
really a story that hasn't been told before. And speaking of a story that's been told before, let's talk about Jimmy Swaggart. Now, he is infamous for being the one, I believe, that Jim Carrey made fun of in Living Color with a skit where he played the
Yes.
televangelist pastor with the I have sinned. He's infamous for that,
Yes.
right? So let's talk about why, for the younger ones in the audience that weren't born in the 80s. Famously caught in two major sex scandals involving prostitutes. In 1988 in New Orleans, he was secretly photographed at a motel with a sex worker, which led to his tearful "I have sinned" televised confession and his dismissal from
Jim
the
Carrey.
Assemblies of God denomination. Then 3 years later, so he didn't learn his lesson, in Indio, California, he was detained by the California Highway Patrol after being pulled over for driving on the wrong side of the road in a Jaguar with a different sex worker. Officers also found pornographic magazines inside the vehicle. Why are you keeping pornos in your Jag, my man? That's something.
Where else are they going to put it at? Why is he driving on the wrong side
Well,
of the
he's
road?
in a
What I want to
Jaguar.
know.
It's a British car. Maybe he thought it just was meant to be.
You're going to go, do an illegal activity. You probably don't want to just start breaking the law right off the
So
bat.
this guy, Mr. Jimmy Lee Swaggart, was a American Pentecostal televangelist. He was also a media mogul, author, and gospel music artist. So he also is. Oh, he's actually got quite a few songs that he's covered in the religious sector of things.
Have you heard his version of "Baby Got Back"? No.
Oh, he's also dead. He died July 1st in
today,
2025. Huh? I did not know he died. Well, happy 1 year death anniversary, Jimmy Swag.
He was like 110 or something, wasn't he? He was old.
90. Weren't too far off.
Close enough.
Mr. I have sinned. Hopefully he found that forgiveness he was looking for. Although I don't think he found it with a prostitute.
Well, she forgave him.
Oh. So another famous televangelist, Billy Graham, when talking about Jimmy Swaggart.
Yep.
Following Jimmy Swaggart's 1988 prostitution scandal, Billy Graham offered a response of grace rather than condemnation. He famously stated, "If it happened to evangelist Jimmy Swaggart, it could happen to me."
Fascinating.
So, wait, did you just say you're also buying prostitutes? Is that what we're doing here?
So yeah, of course. Well, he's shifting blame, right? It's the
if it could happen to him, it could happen to anybody. Any of us could get caught driving on the wrong side of the road in a Jaguar with a prostitute 3 years after getting busted with another prostitute.
Porn in the back.
What are we doing? What do you mean it could happen to anybody?
Just saying.
It's not like stubbing your toe, forgetting to sign a check. I mean, come on. It happened to you, happened to me. That's
more common than you think.
It really isn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Among
That's what
these
I'm hearing.
guys,
More common.
probably. He's arguably probably the most famous of these kinds of scandals, though, because he also, like I said, got made fun of by Jim Carrey on In Living Color, which was one of the more famous scenes from that show. I think it was very popular. You can still find that clip on YouTube. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I think I'm done talking about this guy. The last guy I want to talk about, well, I mean, once you get past those two scandals, there really just ain't much about him.
Well, it's all
His
sex
was
and rock
all
and roll,
sex and
right?
rock and roll. It doesn't say that he was um, also stealing money. Um, probably was. Probably using that to pay for the prostitutes. Old Jimmy Swag. God, funny.
So you're just telling me that little old Inez, little old Pearl, they're coming in every week. They're making donations into the plate, and he's pulling a little bit of it off, and he's giving it to Cinnamon Sky out there on the street at sunset and driving her in his
Giving it to
Jag.
old Rusty
That's what I'm hearing right.
Diamond.
That's what I'm hearing right now. Oh, Mama Pearl and Inez, they're paying for his sins. And Cinnamon Sky is living the high life right now on a 90-year-old penis. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Oh, God.
If it wasn't him, it wasn't her, it was Rusty Diamond. You're absolutely right.
It'd be really funny if, since he was in a Jaguar, if he was picking up a girl named Mercedes or Porsche, something like that. Your typical stripper name, right?
So many strippers
named after cars.
right there.
Always named after cars.
Yep.
Like, come here, Pinto.
My favorite stripper was named Chevrolet.
Got a stripper with a bum leg. We call her Pinto. Holy crap!
They've taken a new time these days. It's now I've got a Kia.
Kia. Got a Tesla.
Yeah. Come here, Cybertruck. She's famous for her butt. She got a BBL.
Oh no!
In Mexico.
All
right, I'm derailed.
No, it's
sorry.
Worth it. All right, the last one I want to talk about is Mr. Kenneth Copeland. Are you familiar with Kenneth Copeland? Okay.
Yep, I'm familiar with all these dudes.
Now he has been accused of quite a bit, I believe. He also is the one, for those of you who don't know, and again, I'm going to put pictures of all three of these guys up here because they're just something to look at. This guy feels like he's staring through my screen into my soul.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, well, it's only three. But yeah, these are definitely, if you were going to make a Mount Rushmore of bad televangelists, these are the three. These are your highlight reel right here.
Yeah, you picked it.
Yeah, it feels like he is staring straight through my screen into my soul, looking at these pictures of him. A lot of people claim that they think he's actually a demon pretending to be a pastor because of just the way he looks.
Wasn't there a video or a claim that he was part of the lizard people?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a thing. So Kenneth Max Copeland is an American televangelist associated with the charismatic movement. He is the founder of Eagle Mountain International Church Incorporated, which is based in Tarrant County, Texas. Eagle Mountain International Church Incorporated would be the hardest name I've ever heard for a church in general. That's awesome. I do like the name.
I like it. I'm here for it.
So what was he accused of?
It's very American.
What was he accused of? Because this is a like a 4-paragraph list here. He has not been charged or convicted with anything. He is one that just keeps skating by the skin of his teeth, right? Frequently faces intense public criticism and investigations. Primary accusation against him involved financial opacity with his lavish lifestyle and the aggressive solicitation of tax-free donations. Copeland's ministry, Kenneth Copeland Ministries, or KCM, again, goes hard, has drawn scrutiny for keeping its financial records private and its heavy use of private jets. Critics frequently accuse him of using donor money to fund a multi-million-dollar lifestyle, including multiple private aircrafts and luxury homes. Copeland has defended this, stating that his wealth comes from book sales, natural gas royalties, and a Gulfstream jet purchased from Tyler Perry. So he's the one that famously said that Tyler Perry sold him the jet so cheap it would have been a sin for him not to buy it, or something like that is how he worded it. So he didn't use illegal donations. Medea cut him a deal. Jesus.
That was the newest Medea movie. I think it was called Medea Sells Out.
Senate investigations. The 2007 Coppola Ministries was one of 6 investigated by the U.S. Senate Finance Committee regarding the transparency of its finances and the use of tax-exempt donations. The inquiry investigated whether top executives misused nonprofit resources, such as using private planes for personal vacations, but ultimately resulted in no criminal charges. Unfounded rumors. This is where you get into the fun stuff. Copeland has been the subject of viral AI-generated misinformation on social media, also claiming he was arrested or sentenced to life in prison for fraud. Fact-checking organizations like Snopes? No.
You never heard of
Have
Snopes?
debunked these claims.
Brother.
No, I prefer the conspiracy. I don't want to hear the debunk. No, I don't want the
Go
debunk.
to Snopes. They'll tell you some things are true. Absolutely, they'll tell you
they are
true.
entirely fabricated. So let's just, for shits and giggles, let's look up Kenny C's net worth. I'd like to have him on the show. Okay, we don't have an exact amount, but it looks like they're estimating it between 300 million and 760 million.
So he's probably the granddaddy of these when it comes to finances, right? He's the one who is the top financially. I don't know where Olstein's at.
Oh, yeah. He was the 4th one that we could technically say on our Mount Rushmore. So my mom used to watch him a lot before he got in trouble. And I don't know. Yeah, he was a younger guy. And he did a good job as a pastor on it. I mean, he's 63 now, but so let's talk about Olstein. We'll round this episode out with our solid 4 horsemen of the apocalypse here.
Evangelism.
Joel. Which one? Mine or yours? Oh yeah,
all of them. You could horseman of apocalypse.
Joel Osteen has faced major public backlash and accusations for several high-profile controversies, including Hurricane Harvey shelter. In August 2017, the public accused his Houston megachurch of refusing to shelter flood victims. Osteen claimed the building was initially flooded and unsafe, but critics argued the massive 16,000-seat facility should have opened immediately. Yeah, you know, you're supposed to be, we're all God's people. You should have probably let these people into your church, but you didn't want it to get dirty. I remember that. Prosperity, gospel, and wealth. Osteen is regularly criticized for preaching the prosperity gospel, the belief that faith and financial donations lead to material blessings. Critics argue this enriches him personally while not helping impoverished congregants. So he's one that says, if you give me money, God will then bless you with more money than what you currently have and are giving.
Correct.
I don't think that's how God works. I don't think he's an ATM.
I also
don't think that God is like playing the stock market where you invest $20 into Bitcoin when it's at 0.001 cent worth, and now it's blown up and you get, your money back 100 times over. I don't think it's the same.
He gets it back.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works. I don't think God's sitting up there with one of those green see-through visors, a cigarette behind his ear, and the big crank calculator. You know what I mean? And you're hitting the 10 key. I don't think that's how that works. God,
I don't know. I don't know though. Maybe it is
PPP loans, or I'm going to call them triple P loans because it sounds very childish to say PPP loans. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Lakewood Church faced heavy criticism after securing a $4.4 million government paycheck protection program. That's the 3 Ps The church later announced it would repay the funds in full. So they got a $4.4 million government loan to pay their people during COVID-19, which they obviously did not need. They have a 16,000 seat capacity mega church, which is bigger than most WNBA arenas. I don't think they needed a $4.4 million loan. And hidden church funds. This. Let's talk about this. This is the big one. In 2021, a plumber discovered hundreds of envelopes containing an undisclosed amount of cash and checks hidden behind the loose bathroom wall at Lakewood Church. This is his church.
Okay.
While the funds were linked to an unsolved $600,000 church safe theft from 2014, Osteen and church staff were not implicated in the theft itself.
Okay.
They literally pulled the old movie trope of pull out this panel and you got your little hidey hole. So they stole out of their safe, threw it. What somebody did. Disclaimer. Somebody did. Pulled it out of the safe.
Somebody.
Which they would have had to have access to. Moved the wall panel out of the bathroom. Stuffed the money back there. Put it back. Called the police. Reported the theft. Got the insurance check to get the money back. They just doubled their money. They used insurance to double their money.
I just feel like that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. What are you doing? Why did you take a second for now? What are you doing?
Oh God! I will show the people right now what I am doing because that is funny.
You can't pause like that. Oh my God!
I can when it's that good.
Interesting. I'm intrigued.
I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time. It's a good thing it's a short video because I got to spend a lot of time editing this video. This is gonna be fun. Got to try to find a.
So what are you doing right now?
Just got some media from my co-host.
You got a hot news link, huh?
Shit right there. Jesus, I got to try to find a picture of God with the visor doing the cha-ching.
I'm over here dying.
Good. All right, so that's Osteen. Now I'm pretty sure he is still doing his thing, correct? Yeah, he's still selling. Is it Olstein or Osteen? Because it's Osteen. There's no L. Is it? I've always heard it said Olstein, but I think it's Osteen or Austin or Osteen. Whatever.
Maybe you're right.
I don't know. Either way, he's most likely. What is it with these? The ones that get busted, if you go look at their photos,
it is Osteen.
They always look like they are just potentially not real. Like, especially Osteen and Copeland. Those two look so just not human. I don't understand. Something about them just doesn't look right. It looks like... All right, now let's play the game. Do you have a picture of Baker handy?
I do.
Well,
the one I sent you.
Okay, if Baker is one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which one is he?
He is who I would consider.
Because we know Copeland is death. That's easy. Spoiler: Copeland's death or war. One of the two. Baker, I feel like, is. I'm gonna say he's famine.
I don't know.
And I'm gonna say he's famine because he also is trying to sell off the doomsday food. So we'll say he's famine. Now we'll go to Swaggart, and we're gonna say Swaggart is pestilence since he's out there banging.
100% pestilence. So I would argue Swaggart is pestilence, Copeland is war.
Yeah, I can see Copeland being war, and then Osteen is death. Sneaks in there all gentle in the night. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so there it is.
That's what I think.
We got famine, Jimmy Baker famine, Jimmy Swaggart, pestilence because he's out there banging all the prostitutes. Copeland out there being war because he's
spreading disease.
Always trying to blow away COVID-19 with his shit that he did, psychopath. And then Osteen swoops in the middle of the night, steals from your safe, and files an insurance claim, and then kills you. He has not killed anybody, disclaimer, that I'm aware of. However,
and that's how it is on the photo, right? So the photo specifically in Rabbits, you'll get to see this.
oh yeah,
He'll post this, or he'll show this specifically. Osteen's riding the pale horse, so he's death.
yeah, that image you sent me, yes, that image you sent me is 100% going to be the thumbnail. 100% going to be the thumbnail.
Rabbit, be on the lookout.
Good.
Some of my best work.
That's some good shit right there. All right,
continue your story.
That's really all I had as far as, the big four that I wanted to talk about. Originally the big three, but then we came up with our four horsemen skit, so I ran with that. But I guess my main point that I want to discuss with you is, and I don't know your religious background or anything. I don't know that you know mine. But so let me say this. I do work with a nonprofit currently, with a club here in town, and everything we bring in, we do through charity gaming and bar sales. So charity gaming, for those of you that don't live in Indiana, you're not allowed to open a casino in Indiana. You're not allowed to gamble in Indiana. So they do it under the guise of what they call charity gaming, which means you can gamble on things like slot machines or pool tabs or poker or bingo. And you can win your money doing that. But the business that is putting it on has to turn around and send all that money back out to different organizations, charities, or certain things that the Charity Gaming Commission in Indiana says, yes, it's okay for you to use this money on XYZ. Okay, it's all very, very heavily regulated. And at any point, if you screw up, it's not a, oh, you didn't know, sorry. It's a, we pull your license, you get to do no more games until you're back in good standing with us again.
And they say the, oh, you didn't know in the famous Billy Gunn.
Yeah,
oh, you didn't know?
Yeah. It was Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Yeah, you're right.
Indiana uses that voice.
Yeah,
specifically.
Yeah, so there's no real messing around with these guys, right? They keep it all very, very regulated, very strict. Now, I say that to say, with my experience in charity gaming, because I also had to take a class in this to be able to get my license for charity gaming for this nonprofit that I work for.
Oh, so you're sitting behind the slot machine, like pulling the...
No. I just have to handle where the funds go for the donation side of things.
Copy that, Jimmy.
What is it about being in the position of a pastor? Because being in my position, I never think, oh, there's all this money in this account, I could just take some and nobody would notice, because I know somebody will notice, because it's heavily monitored. That, and it's a bad thing to do, like, hello. But what is it about these guys that are up there, preaching the word of God and trying to help save people and spread his word, that turns them into, I'm just going to take a little money here and nobody will notice, or I'm just going to hook up with a little prostitute and nobody will notice? Like, what is it that, you can't say that all four of these guys were just born con men and were like, oh, I can use, church as a way to, and maybe they were, I don't know, to fund this millionaire lifestyle. There's other ways to become millionaires, right? You don't have to use church as your way to get there. What is it, do you think, that turns these guys into what they end up getting busted for?
So in my mind, I'll go back to the personality type and the lack of accountability above them. So you don't do it because, one, you seem like a decent, okay person, I guess. My plan. I don't know. Ish.
Playing the long
ish. Con. But above you, I'm sure there's somebody above you that's also regulating that, right? So there's always going to be somebody further up that ladder that's watching these things. When you get to them specifically, they are the top of that ladder. So I'm going to disagree in the sense that I don't think it's just them that know this. I think there's individuals below them that know this is happening, but either they don't want to say anything because they believe in the faith and belief of what's being preached, and this is acceptable because, the four horsemen said, yep, this is good, we're okay with this, God said this is good. For whatever reason, they're saying that. But then you have the other individuals that probably maybe they're afraid. They don't want to speak up. They don't want to, call out the person who's going to then tell them, yep, you're saved or you're not saved, or potentially condemn them to a life of hell in hellfire or brimstone or wherever the afterlife is for this individual. So the folks below them can't hold them accountable, and there's nobody above them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Do you think it's also that it just goes down the rung all the way down? They're all doing something they shouldn't be doing, so they all let the person above them get away with it, and they let the person below them get away with it because they're also doing it. And when the big cheese gets caught, that's when they all scurry, or they all turn around and say, "Oh my God, 100%. I can't believe he did this. This is terrible. I would never do this. Make me your new leader."
And they're the ones who make the news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're vying for the next in line, because right. That's the scandal, right? Timmy, Timmy money launderer, that's third from the top. He's not going to garner any publicity, but the horseman at the top, he's going to garner that monetary, that newsworthy topics, the nightly news, the Inside Edition, the whatever it is. They're going to have the conversations about them, because it's huge. You shouldn't expect it from them, right? That's your pastor. That's your whomever, right? Whatever you want to call those. This is
supposed to be the person that you trust the most. You're supposed to be able to
Correct.
go to them with all of your concerns, whether it's whatever sin you think you've committed or whatever's weighing heavy on your heart. I mean, a pastor, and this may be a bad comparison to make, but this video is already never going to get monetized. So a pastor is not much different than, say, a bartender, right? Somebody that sits there and listens to all your woe is me troubles and gives you some unsolicited advice. And then you think, oh yeah, that guy's right. Or, oh no, that guy's an idiot. And then later on you're like, oh, maybe he was right. Maybe I should listen, or she, whatever. So I can understand them wanting to take the role of being a pastor if this is truly what they want to do, is be, scummy con men when it comes to this kind of shit, right? That they are thinking, who do people trust the most? Pastor, preacher, whatever you want to call it. So I can understand that, but I don't get how. I just don't get it. I don't understand how you sit there on TV and preach and preach and preach, and then you turn around and you steal money, or you go bang prostitutes. And here's the other thing. So the church I used to go to here in town, and this is one of the reasons why I don't go there anymore. I'm not going to dox anybody, but this is one of the reasons why I don't go there. They used to always say that we needed, as a congregation, we needed to donate more money because they had all these charities and mission trips and everything that they were planning on sending all these people to, right? Or going to spread the word or help build houses in Uganda or something, right? And that's all great, right? And I understand you're wanting to ask for more money. Well, we didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid, right? Going to this church. So we would give what we could. And every week you'd hear, you need to give more, you need to give more, you need to give more. And then they turn around and go up during the sermon and say, oh, we just want to announce that we're giving the pastors a $10,000 or $20,000 annual raise on top of their current situation, on their current, salary. And on top of that, they don't have to pay for their phone or their car or anything like that because it's all paid for by the church. And I'm like, if you're hurting, for That's money so bad that you're begging us to give more, why are we giving $20,000 raises between two people like that? But that being said, why couldn't these guys have just done that if they wanted more money that bad? They are running the show. They are the show. They could literally just be like, I'm going to cut myself a a $2.5 million check this month because that's what I believe my time was worth. Put it on the books under payroll. But why not just do that instead of misappropriating the donation funds?
And so what you described is if the church is going to voluntarily give this, either it's their word or the top person's, recommendation, hey, I need the extra, $10,000, $100,000. And maybe it wasn't, I don't know. But maybe there's some legitimacy to, the church believing they need to be paid more. I don't know what the pay scale is for the religious figures. I have no clue
Right.
about that. I just know, like, for
No.
teachers, that's not very good. I can imagine it's not good across the board. Legitimately, it shouldn't be, right?
Right. And I'm not saying that they didn't deserve a raise. It's the timing of the delivery of, 3-4 weeks in a row. It's you need to give more. You're not doing enough. We need more. By the way, I'm taking a raise. It just kind of like, just didn't sit well. Right.
No, I get it.
It'd be like, imagine your child at school, the teacher, like you said, teachers don't get paid well, right? And they're like, hey, we're taking donations to be able to get new stuff for the classroom, whatever. And you and your kid and all their classmates are all out doing fundraisers and blah, 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 the typical cheese fundraiser or meat catalog fundraiser or whatever, all the little donation pamphlet things, right? So you go out, you do this for weeks on end, turn it in at the end of the month, and the teacher comes out and says, oh yeah, we raised a good amount of money. We raised, $50,000 between all the kids, right? Pretty good donation. You go back for the next parent-teacher conference, there's like a 24 count of Crayola crayons with a sharpener in the back, but you see on the teacher's Facebook that she just spent the last weekend in Bali, right? Is that going to piss you off? Is that going to raise some red flags? That's going to piss you off, right? Okay,
absolutely.
So why is it when these guys get busted, their congregation 9 times out of 10 stand behind them and support them?
It's belief. So there's the difference. It's belief. I believe that this is the faith, right? So that will pull its weight in wonder, and so people will buy into that. Now, same with school. School is you said it earlier in the sense that these are individuals that it should be a safe place for individuals to go, and you should feel comfortable discussing and talking. And again, it's safe. Again, church, school, those are good examples of those safe spaces. Now, the difference in school versus the churches is that the churches have a belief system attached to them. I'm not saying schools don't have a belief system, because they do, obviously. But your churches have a belief in, if I don't do this, then, as you said, maybe something bad's going to happen to me if I don't do these things. So I'm going to accept this, because the acceptance becomes, now I'm getting that favor. I'm getting that individual who's preaching the word of God or whatever it is to look favorably upon me, and then he can touch my head. Now I can walk after being, doused with a Molotov cocktail. I'm just saying, that's what I think.
Yeah, but at that point, now I'm gonna do this as my closing argument. These guys are blindly leading or following these televangelists that are obviously bad people, right? But act like they are prophets preaching the word of God, right? So at the point that these guys get busted and the congregation stands behind them, have they crossed into Davidian or cult-like territory by blindly following somebody that they shouldn't be following?
All right, so hang on. I'm going to pause your question with a question. Of the four, here's a callback. Of the four, who could have a resurrection face-off between the four of them?
Oh, I think Copeland could easily raise
the
dead with that face.
So I mean, I think you're onto something on the sense that where are they on that scale of the cults? Some would argue that these are cults, absolutely. And I'm sure it's no different than other religions in the world, right? So not every, Muslim out there is an extremist, right? Not everyone, belongs to ISIS and the Taliban or whatever, right? And they're going to argue the same thing with, oh, it's America and they're Christians. They're out to, kill everybody in the world. And they have some right to say that because there's some extremists in the U.S. Here you're talking about these U.S.-based evangelists. I don't know where Benny Hinn is from. India, maybe? I'm not sure. But he's another one that's on this, not
I
on
know
this
you're
list,
talking
but
about.
he
Yep.
would be another one for this list. And so they are there. And so I'm sure they have denominations or they have a group of individuals who don't fully buy into the, hey, I don't want to give you all this money. That doesn't seem right. I don't believe God would
Right.
want that. And so then they separate off, and now you've got these different factions of religions because they don't fully buy into the belief of this guy or this false prophet or this person claiming that. And at least that's, again, what I think.
Yeah. I mean, it seems very, very close to cult-like behavior at that point where this person's been busted for multiple crimes. And I fully understand from the religious side that, Jesus says you should forgive your enemy, turn the other cheek, all that. We all, only God should be the one judging, blah, blah, blah. However, if my pastor gets busted for banging prostitutes and stealing money from the church, I'm probably going to go find a different church. I mean,
Or I'm going to buy in and do it too.
Yeah, well,
that's your cult.
Is that
but
the
that
line?
becomes a cult if you don't buy into
line
it.
We're drawing?
That's it. I mean, maybe that's what I think.
Okay,
because they believe that at that point. The moment they don't believe, then they separate, and if they can't separate, that becomes cult-like mentality. I won't let you leave. You need to buy into this. I'm going to shave your head, or I'm going to, cut off your balls and castrate you, or I'm going to tell you that you have to divorce this person, and that's now my wife.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only difference is that these guys do everything very selfishly that doesn't impact the people around them other than the money being stolen. Right? Whereas you get into your Koresh or your Manson or, Jim Jones or Heaven's Gate, where they force other people to do other things that they would not ordinarily do in their right mind. These guys don't do that. They preach the same message that every other pastor, preacher, priest, whatever that you'll hear preaching all up and down the Bible Belt, right? But they do all their shit in the shadows, right? Stealing money, hooking up with prostitutes, all that. They do behind closed doors. And they don't say, hey, I'm forcing you to get divorced, or hey, I'm forcing you to shave your head, or I'm forcing you to go kill somebody for me, or whatever the case may be. So I guess that is where you could draw the line on the cult versus just blindly following whoever based on their words. I don't know. It's interesting though. I don't know, the whole televangelist thing, man. It's always blown my mind, and I really wanted to discuss it here with you and kind of get your opinion on, especially these four. Like we said, the four horsemen, the Mount Rushmore, whatever you want to call them, of the televangelist apocalypse.
So we've talked about these four specifically, and obviously there are several more out there. Have you ever heard, and this is a little related but a little unrelated, have you heard of the Power Team? So the Power Team specifically is or was a group of Christian televangelists that would go on stage or be televised, and they would do amazing feats of strength.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I've seen these guys. Yep.
And so, like, they were on, like, I don't know, an episode of, like, Walker, Texas Ranger at one point. They went on America's Got Talent back in the early 2000s. And obviously they weren't rocked with scandal, not like the four of Mount Rushmore, but like the founder, like he divorced his wife, which is something that you probably shouldn't be doing. There was, wide spread rumors of affairs with this guy. There was assault charges for the founder of this group. So when some of these things started happening, some of the people that followed the power team and had belief in their feats of strength was because of divinity or
Mm-hmm.
God or whatever it was, and in reality it was genetics, and they were just genetic freaks, and ripping
Mm-hmm.
phone books in
Breaking
half.
chains and shit
Not
like that.
necessarily by
Yeah,
word,
I know you're talking about.
yeah, not necessarily by word of God.
Yeah.
They were just big dudes. So these people started leaving the following here and going other places. So yeah, that was another one right there. The power
Wowzers.
team. I watched them quite a bit. You ever watch the TV show the 700 Club
Yeah.
back in the day?
Yep.
There's
That's still
another
around.
one, right? So yes, but this is one of those televangelists that's, I assume, for the good. I've not dug into their background and their history, but the four you brought up here serve a pretty good reminder on the corruption that's out there. No matter where you're looking, it can be found, right? It's no different than the teacher, and I'm talking about schools, the teacher that is now arrested for having relations with a child or their students. I mean, there should be safe places, but sometimes they're
Yep.
just not. And these four should be safe places, should be the true word of God or whatever the belief is, and it's just
Yeah.
not.
And I think that's kind of the point of this episode is, you believe whatever you want to believe. We don't care. Everybody can believe whatever they want. That's what makes, the world go around. However, keep your head on a swivel. Maybe listen a little bit and pay attention. Keep your eyes open, I guess. Don't just blindly follow something without, you know, having a question or two here and there. It's kind of the point of this channel, right? Always question everything. It's one of our slogans. Question everything. If it wasn't before, it is now.
Yep, no good.
So that's going to wrap it up, I think, for this episode. Tony O, unless you got anything else for it.
No, this was a good episode. Again, one of the ones I try to purposely avoid. I don't, again, like you mentioned, I don't delve into a lot of religion. I think that's
Mm.
very divisive for me, and in the sense that if I start believing in one or saying this is right, more right than another, then somebody else says, "What about my religion?" And so again, I just
Or
choose
REM
not to
says you're losing
choose.
your religion.
And I miss some Michael Stipe. That is correct. But no, it was a good topic. I'm glad it was one of the ones that was last because there's a
Yeah.
lot involved in this, and I think it gives a key piece of that corruption, that scandal that's out there that absolutely can rock the world, and has for years, and I think will continue. Right, that will continue to go on for years to come until we get an
Yeah.
idiocracy.
Yeah. Idiocracy incoming. Uh, oh. So if idiocracy were to happen, which one of these four do you think would end up being the, well, one of them's dead. Which one of these four do you think would end up being the
Joel
president first? Think so?
Joel Olston. He's the youngest. The others are going to
Yeah,
die.
it's true.
I think they will elect him, and he will have them as
His cabinet
his
members.
advisors. Their advisors.
Yeah, all stealing
Yep.
from each other.
100%.
Mm.
Yep. No, I would agree with that. 100%.
All right. Thanks for joining, Rabbits. That's going to wrap up this episode. If you made it this far, be sure to subscribe, drop a like, give us a comment on a topic that you want to see us discuss at some point for the future subscriber wheel. Also, we started our prototype merch for Rabbit Hole Roulette. It does look good. Got the QR code on the back so you can have your buddy scan it in case they haven't joined in the rabbit hole with you. If there's interest in more merch, drop a comment below that you want to see. Just comment merch, and that would let us know that if you are interested in merch. If we get enough interest, that might be something we decide to run. Be sure to join us every Wednesday and Saturday for a new episode, and I think that'll do it for today. Matty P, Tony O, signing off. Thanks for joining us.
Goodbye, rabbits.